Wow.
Okay, we all set, Josh? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 7:01. Roll call to seat alternates. John can sit in for Mary. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, John. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Yes.
Yes.
Isabel, you want to give us the three that we should add?
So
to
Josh,
new
I
business?
think
Item
you
number
have
7.
the list right in front of you, but we have 3 new applications to add under new business. And then additionally, we have another partial application or potential application, not to receive, but to discuss and give a little bit of guidance on. So we have, Josh, you're muted.
I thought I had unmuted myself. I think I.
Do you
but
want to list the numbers and the items to add under new business?
We'll pull those up. I have them. Oh, I sent them. So here they are. So application 212235 is the first one. And do you want me to read the full text?
No,
of
we'll read
the-
it later.
Okay,
We can read it later. Just give the numbers.
sure. So the numbers are 35, 36, 37.
Okay. And the partial application, is there a number for that yet, or just?
There's no number for that at this time.
Okay.
It's the application or possible application of Matt Brand for a hydro seeding business.
Okay. Hydro seeding. Okay, any communication or correspondence?
Not at this time.
Okay. I understand we may have some audience of citizens, and if we do, I would like to limit comments to 4 minutes because we've got a very busy schedule tonight, and I want to finish up before midnight.
We do, I would like to say, before we let people speak, we do have an audience of citizens. It's quite significant right now. I think a lot of people are here to discuss a specific application for 79 Cards Mill Road that we discussed in an earlier meeting a few months ago. So you have some basic familiarity. I will be giving an administrative report on this later, but just so the commission is aware, I did receive an appeal tonight. That appeal is not going to be heard at this time because it was just received tonight. We'll need to hear it at the next meeting, which will be the first Monday of July. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
yeah.
no, it won't be the first Monday. It will be that Thursday. It'll be the 7th of July. And at this time, I would suggest that those who plan to speak on that application, you can certainly use your time and speak today if you'd like, but my suggestion to you is that as a matter of procedural due process, you hold your arguments until the application appeal is heard at the regular meeting.
That sounds good. Okay. Okay, let's start with old business, IWWC.
Oh, John, I think, sorry, do we have people who would still like to speak at this time in audience of citizens?
Okay, yeah, we can check on that.
Okay, I think Carol has her hand up now.
Okay,
So
I don't
speak on that.
see her, but that's okay. Yep. Okay, Carol.
Good evening, folks. How you doing?
Very good.
I did note, thank you, Isabel, for passing along that Ms. King had filed an appeal. I was planning to file one as well, but she has already filed it. So I will defer until we hear your report and then plan to be at the meeting in July relating to this matter. That does seem to make the most sense. So
Okay,
I did want to point out that it was very distressing to see the change from the first inland wetlands application to this one, with the extreme differences in the representations regarding the scope of the wetlands on the property, and the classification of it from being virtually no wetlands to virtually all of it being wetlands. And I think that's goes to the point I was trying to make on the prior application, was that these should have been mapped by a soil scientist in the first place, so that you were able to deal with accurate objective information from the ground. So I do appreciate that this is being reconsidered. I realize it's a new application and look forward to hearing Isabel's comments and addressing it further at the next meeting. Thank you.
okay, thank you. So we'll hear everything at the next meeting, but we can hear more people tonight if they want to speak. Okay, then we'll start with old business, IWWC 2122-32, the application of Jason Noswad said for the establishment of a 9-hole golf course, and combination of bridge work and some gravel path work on an existing trail over at Rec Park on 60 Hennequin Road. I know several of us have been on the site walk, and we had some interesting investigations there, and it looks like we got quite a bit of good information on that site walk. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that application? If not, I know we have a summary ruling on it.
John, just
Yes.
the only clarification, this is Ian, is that it was a 9-hole Frisbee golf course, not a 9-hole golf course.
Yeah, well, okay, exactly.
Just to be clear.
Call it golf, but it's Frisbee. Any other comments before we give a summary ruling? Okay, Isabel, do you want to read the summary ruling on that?
Absolutely. Just one second. And I will share my screen. All right, can everyone
There
see
we
my-
go. Yep,
Yes.
very good.
So this is for application 2122-32 at Recreation Park for the establishment of a 9-hole disc golf course, partially within the upland review area, and bridge work and gravel path work on an existing trail. I'm going to skip through the standard conditions of approval that are on every application. The duration of this permit is for 2 years unless extended by this agency. And I will go down to 7, which is specific to this project. The wetlands agent will be notified when the project is started so that regular inspections may be done. All bridge and path work will stay within the footprint of the existing trail. The trail will not be widened in the wetlands. No heavy machinery will be used. The supports used for the bridge must be given final approval by the wetlands agent. Telephone poles or other pressure-treated supports may be used only if the treatment is considered to have minimal impact. Jason Noasad is assigned the responsibility for implementing this erosion and sediment control plan. This responsibility includes the installation and maintenance of control measures, informing all parties engaged on the construction site of the requirements and objectives of the plan, notifying the Inland Wetlands Commission office of any transfer of this responsibility, and conveying a copy of the erosion and sediment control plan if the title to the land is transferred.
Okay, very good. Do I have
Thank you,
a
everybody.
motion? Yep. Thank you. It looks like you got a nice project there.
Yes,
Okay.
it should be great.
Okay, so do I have a motion to accept the summary ruling that Isabel just read?
I have one comment,
Okay,
and that comment is Jason is an applicant for the town of Columbia.
right.
Yes.
It's the town of Columbia. Okay.
it
Yeah,
is-
that's it.
I'm an employee of the town of Columbia making
Right.
this application.
Okay. Do I hear somebody make a motion to accept the summary ruling that Isabel just read?
I'll make a motion to accept the summary ruling
Okay, thank you.
or
John.
the reading.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, very good, Ron. All in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is passed. Okay, very good. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for
Yep.
coming out to the site visit. Bye.
It was fun.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jason.
Thank you,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Thanks.
Okay.
And that was John and Ron seconding for the minutes.
Yes. Mhm. So now we could get into our new business, item 7 for the regular meeting business.
Okay, just 1 second, I'm sorry. Trying to find,
Excuse me, the Muskas are here and we started out late, I'm sorry, but did you talk about us yet?
no, we didn't get to your application.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just looking to see which one is the first in the order. Josh, do you have it on your screen?
The one I have as first is the application of James Halloran for a timber harvest at 51 Mach Road.
Okay, thank you. Too many things open.
Yes.
Okay, you want to give us some background on that, Isabel?
Yes, so let me see if I can just find it. I have it open and my computer just did this weird thing where when I go full screen, I lose what I was looking for. Okay, I found it. Let's see. And I will pull up the application so that everyone can see the site plan. It is for a forestry operation at Mach Road. James Halloran, the forester, is here with us today to discuss it with the commission if you have any questions for him. My understanding is that no wetlands on the site will be impacted. No wetlands will be forested in this area. I believe it's connected to the forestry operation that was approved by the commission in December when we did a jurisdictional ruling for an operation across the street. There are wetlands on the property, and I'm going to screen share just so that everyone can see it. So there are wetlands right here and in this area. And there are some wetlands in this area as well that I discussed with James. And I was told they would be left alone with, I believe, a 50-foot buffer. And I think the process will be the same as the process that we saw at 56 Mach Road as well. James, do you have anything to add to that?
No, what you said pretty much includes it all. It's the same operation that's across the street, just smaller acreage. And we're excluding all the wetland areas instead of crossing them or impacting them. So should go pretty smoothly.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Well, I have a question that's really irrelevant, but what what types of logs are you cutting? By that, I mean, what, is it oak and maple or ash or?
Yeah, there's really a mix of everything. I'd say oak is the dominant species on this woodlot, but since it's kind of on a slope and does have higher areas and lower, the landowner is just really looking to harvest the mature trees and also the ones that have died from things like emerald ash borer and the
Right.
gypsy moth outbreak a few years ago. So
Okay,
it'll be a
thank
mix
you.
of everything. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So I guess we have to have a motion to accept the application.
A motion to accept the application?
I'll move
Okay,
that we
John.
accept-
Who's, oh, Ron, okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 So moved. Okay, thank you.
I do also have a jurisdictional ruling prepared for commission members for this application because it's forestry. If that is something that you'd like me to read into the record.
Yes, would you please?
Uh, Sorry, this is a little bit informal. So for this jurisdictional ruling, I move that the proposed activity for a forestry operation within the upland review area is qualified under the commission's regulations, section 1-1Q as farming. The proposed activity is therefore classified as a use as of right under section 4.1A of the regulations and is not considered a regulated activity requiring a wetlands permit. Applicant James Halloran at 51 Mach Road.
Okay, very good. Okay, we heard Isabel. Do I have a motion to approve the jurisdictional ruling?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you. A second?
Second it. I'll second.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep,
Thank you.
okay. Third application. Oh, we got to, yeah, we don't need that. Okay. What's the next one? Oh, the application of Robert and Cynthia Muska to paver a patio and add drainage trench and gravel extended storage area at 21 Lake Road. You want to fill us in on that, Isabel?
Yes, so I spoke briefly about this at our previous regular meeting. I had discussed with Ms. Muska that she wanted to put a patio in place and install a swale to drain part of her backyard, which she uses as an area for her dogs, that is very wet. She says it's wetter than it has been in the past several years, and she feels that the wetlands are encroaching further on her property, so she wanted to direct some of that runoff towards the swale that exists at the road. I was notified on the first Monday of last month at our previous meeting that the work had begun. I sent out a notice of violation and discussed it with Ms. Muska. The work was stopped immediately. As soon as we were notified of it, I was out of town at the time. I believe I was at home preparing for the meeting. But the ZEO went out and spoke to the contractors who were doing the project. They stabilized the area and completed everything to keep things stable and then stopped work. Since that, I have been in contact with Ms. Muska. She submitted this application and she's been very cooperative. and have some pictures as well to share with the commission that I'm just pulling up now. If they'll load. And I believe they're in the second meeting packet that was sent out and that is online.
Yeah.
So let me see. Actually, I believe they're in the first meeting packet. So this is our first meeting packet. I have pictures of the work the day that the town received notification that it began. In here somewhere. So this here is the area that the homeowners wanted to drain. They dug a trench, installed gravel and a perforated pipe and directed it towards the swale at the road. And then overlaid it with a filter fabric and covered the area to stabilize it. So there was an existing pipe, and I think Cindy's here. She can maybe talk about that a little bit more. I do have a picture of it somewhere in here. And so it's my understanding that the existing pipe actually drained in the same direction as the pipe that was just installed. That's this here. It's not too visible, but it functioned to drain the same area and provide them with a little bit more dry land. You can kind of see how wet it is. And they installed a patio and some significant amount of gravel on the side of their driveway. They had previously received an administrative approval from John to place a garage on their existing driveway, and part of the mitigation for that was that they were going to place gravel on the side of their driveway to capture infiltration or to infiltrate runoff from the installed garage. At the time that wasn't done. So this is essentially in the area where it was meant to be, but it's much more significant, much more extensive than what was approved by John. And it looks like extend a little bit into the wetlands. You can see skunk cabbage here and some other hydrophytic vegetation. And this is the gravel that was brought into the site. Again, this is the pipe over here. And again, this is the area that's very wet. The pipe that runs along the side of the driveway and into the swale at the side of the road. And then lastly, I do have a site plan that was submitted as a part of the application. Just to basically show where everything is. This is the area that's very wet. As I said, I think that the additional gravel does extend somewhat into the wetlands. The patio is new behind the garage. It is 15 by 30. And the trench with the gravel and the pipe is roughly 62 feet long, extending up to the road.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I have a comment. The stone does not go in the wetlands. There's no skunk cabbage where the stone was put. We have mulch
we
there.
actually had,
put mulch
we actually
there.
had a wood pile along that area, which we moved
Moved to the end of our
into the
yard.
woods, into the dry area. So the only reason why we really added gravel was because we had hoped to back our boat into that area, and
In the
the only
winter.
thing you would ever get when it rained heavily, it would get a little bit muddy and it would get dirt on your feet. That's about
Yeah,
it.
and the dog.
But that area never became extremely wet. Where the trench has been installed, a stream suddenly appeared this year, and where that culvert begins is actually where the stream kind of turns towards the road, and that trench basically captures that stream, and it's been working beautifully, and extremely clear water has been flowing into the culvert. And now that we've had an extended period with not a lot of excessive rain, the area is quite dry, and any water that does filtrate down into the culvert looks almost drinkable. It's so clear, in all honesty.
And the skunk cabbage is still there where the
And
wetlands are.
where the wetlands is, it's still damp and wet. The gravel really never approached any of the wet area that we had previously had to deal with. So, and that area is still very damp. So it really hasn't changed any of the wetland area, other than the area where the trench is, and it just allows clear water to flow freely into the trench.
And I want to say that I was the one that called the town the day that our contractor was there. I called the town saying, our contractor's here and they're going to be doing the trench, and I just want to make sure it's done right. And I was taking off for a job out of town, and my contractor was there. So then the town came over that day and talked to my contractor, but I wasn't there. And then I met with them later on when I got back to the town, and I was going to get a citation for that. But I mean, when we put in the garage, we were told we could put the garage up on the asphalt that is our driveway, because we didn't want to dig into the wetlands or dig into our driveway. And then they told us we had to put that trench in, but we hadn't done it yet. So when we got the contractor to do the patio, we had him do the trench. And this was all because the town told us we had to do the trench. So I was kind of shocked that we were getting in trouble for that. So, and we're putting the, I guess you say that mulch is better than the stone, and mulch has more bugs and stuff. I just thought the gravel would be cleaner and more stable, but we're here to make sure everybody's happy, and we don't want to do anything wrong for the wetlands, because we like our wetlands and our nature. So that's what I feel. So just thank you.
Okay, very good, Ismail. It sounds like everything's under control. Okay, so we need a motion to accept the application. Do I hear somebody make a motion here?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, John. A second to accept the application.
I'll second it, John.
All right, thank you, Tip.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Ron.
It's not Tip, it's
That's
Ron.
Ron.
Ron, it looked like Tip. Okay, all in
Oh,
favor,
thank
raise
you.
your hand. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
And I think, Cindy, before you leave, if I can catch you, this is something, just so you know, the commission might want to schedule a site walk on. That would be my
Right.
suggestion.
Yes.
Whether you guys want to do that now or after you've heard the rest of the new business is up to you. But I think that that's something that would be good for everyone to see.
Right.
Will
Okay.
there be any other site walks, do you think, tonight?
I think there will be at least one more on the next application, which is at Sleepy Hollow Road.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wait till after that application and then we can make a site walk. Time and date. Okay?
And Cindy, I can email you as well when that's scheduled, just to let you know when it is. You don't have to stick around. I just wanted to make sure you were aware.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank-
Okay, next application is for the one for Michael Dobush at 3 Sleepy Hollow Road for a platform to safely cross the ditch between 15 and 19 Sleepy Hollow Road. Assessors map 16B, lot number 011. Want to give us some background on that, Isabel?
Yes, so this was originally brought to my attention by Mary. I know that she, Mark Walter, and Mach have had some discussion in the past with Mr. Dobish. He recently purchased the right-of-way between 15 and 19 Sleepy Hollow Road and felt that due to the condition, it was not safe to walk on. My understanding from reading previous communication between Mary, the town administrator, Mark, and the chair of LMAC, Mike Nazzo, was that Mr. Dobish ideally would like to place a pipe in the right-of-way area to handle runoff better from the road and outlet into the lake. I know that he was told both by Mark Walter and by Mary that that's generally not something that we allow anymore in town, just out of concern for the lake and contamination that may be coming off of the road. We like to have a little bit more time for infiltration and potential remediation. We were made aware of work being done on May 16th. I sent out a notice of violation and response earlier this month, which I've included in the meeting packet as well. I have some photos of the work that's been done to date that was sent to me by Mary Roykel. I'm going to screen share and then I'll switch over to the subsequent application that I received from Mr. Dobish in response to my notice of violation. Let's see. So. We have one picture here. It looks like this area was filled in and then a wood path was placed over it to provide better walking access through that right away. There was a pipe on the side. My communication with Mr. Dobish, he's told me that he has not installed the pipe to date. He does want to speak to the commission and come to an amicable solution that works for everyone. And let's see, this has since been covered with wood and is a small bridge. I don't have a photo of it right now, actually. And I believe it's just, my understanding is that it's a temporary solution to provide safe passage until a solution can be found. Let's see. I'm just looking for time. So this is the application we received. The purpose of the project is to build a 5x9 platform over the ditch that's existing in the right of way. Add 1/2 inch of riverstone to riverstone that was installed by the town roughly 20 years ago and fill in the ruts a little bit. And this is the general location. I believe that's all I have today. Oh, I also have a site plan that you can't see too well when I'm sharing my screen, but I think everybody has a PDF that was sent to them, and this should be online as well. And then Mr. Dobish, are you here?
Mike is here. He's got to turn his mic on. I'm James's brother.
Thank you.
Mike, turn on your mic.
How you doing? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for
Okay.
joining.
Yep.
Did you have anything else to add as to what's been done and what you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Wait.
Originally, you can see it in that first picture where there looks to be the ditch. Basically, what I did is took the existing riffraff and basically just mortared it together so it would be stable, you know, and the boards that you see running there was strictly to secure the planking on the top you can almost see the completed platform in the second picture off to the extreme right,
Mhm.
you know, which, you know, and the stone was banked up to make it continuous from the ground to the ramp or platform so that, you know, the ditch can be safely crossed. I don't know if the commission has any questions.
And no pipe was added to this
No,
point.
no, it's the existing path that the stormwater has always run, you know, has run down. That, you know, it's created in the earth. Basically, it's just a flat platform over that ditch.
Hi, Michael, John Allen here. How you doing?
Hi. Good, John.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Is this a right of way that other people that might live across the street or something can all use to get to the lake?
Yeah, yes, there's 7 households that have use of the
That's
right
what I
of way.
thought. Okay. So other people will be using that maybe to get their canoes or whatever boats into the lake, and so it seems like it needs a lot of attention so that nobody gets hurt.
Right, it's also, you know, the ditch has to be crossed to get to the dock,
Right.
you know, because it crosses, you know, crosses the right of way.
Mhm.
You know, down the road, we'd like to make some, you know, some other changes, but that's down the road.
Okay.
You know, at this time, this is the only modification we want to make.
Okay, very good. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, this is James Stobush. I'd just like to comment that, you know, the town dumps the stormwater onto the property and it erodes the earth into the lake. And, you know, we feel that that's a issue because you can see in the photo, there's steps there that go into the lake, and that we used to be able to walk down them, and now there's so much dirt from the runoff that you can see there that that whole, you know, areaway is full of eroded soil from the town's water running across our property. And that's why there's this big ditch there. You know, we need to find a long-term solution, you know, so you can't have this erosion continually happening and you know, filling up the lake with dirt.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? If not, do I hear a motion to accept the application?
I'll make that motion. Chip Garrett.
Okay, thank you, Tip. Second on it?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's make a site walk to that location, and the other one was, let's see. The first one? No, not the second one.
21 Lake Road.
Yeah, right, 21 Lake Road, and the other one is 15 and 19 Sleepy Hollow Road. Okay, yeah. So how about, oh boy. Today is the 7th, 6th.
6, yeah.
6, so how about 18th?
What day is that?
That's on a Saturday, 18th at 9 o'clock,
Is it possible to do like a Thursday again?
Thursday?
Yeah, I usually ride with the bike club on Saturday
Oh,
mornings.
okay, Thursday, yeah, as long as it's in the evening, yeah.
I mean, if that works for everybody else, I mean,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it Thursday at 5:30.
perfect.
Okay,
For me,
Not
anyway.
this Thursday.
With that,
Thursday,
What date?
Thursday is the 16th.
Okay.
16th at 5:30, okay?
Perfect. Thank you, John.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's get on to,
We have one more.
oh, one more, that's right.
New business.
The partial application of hydro seeding, Isabel, right?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off.
Yep, okay, thank you, Michael.
So I will give a brief introduction. Let me see. And I believe, is he still in the meeting? I did see Matt Brand earlier, who is the owner of the hydro seeding business. I think, Angela, are you here representing that application? Maybe not. But I'll give a brief introduction regardless. So Brandscapes is a hydro seeding business that operates in town. My discussion with the owner, Matt, is that they've been operating in town for upwards of 10 years now. They pump water from Mono Pond and from a wetlands on Wellswood Road. I've received a number of complaints from concerned residents who've seen them pumping from the wetlands on Wellswood Road in particular. And currently there is no permit for this business. So I had a discussion with Matt to work with him to get an application. I asked him to describe how often and how frequently and how much he's pumping from the wetlands, from Mono Pond, and from any other area in town. We received a brief letter, and if I can scroll down to it, some information here on the map. He circled a couple of locations up to this point. I did go out to meet him and look at his equipment and go over the process of what he does. But we certainly need more information. I think this is something that is going to be more involved because we need to get permission from the state, certainly before we can give any kind of permit for pumping out of Mono Pond, and permission from any other landowners in the area that the water is being taken from. I know the area on Wellswood Road is right next to his house. So I'm not sure if the area that he pumps from is directly on his property or if it's in his neighbor's property, in which case we would need permission from the neighbor as well. And we just need more information. I did send him an email today suggesting some, I think that's all I have, some additional information that we need beyond permission from any property owners. I'd like specific dates for the season that he's pumping. I know he only does it in the spring and I think late summer. I'm just looking for that now. Apologize. I would like specific information on how often, how much water is being removed, and what kind of equipment he's using. I did see it in person, but I'd like to see a diagram and just get more information from that. I think ultimately site walks will be necessary, but at this stage, I think we can wait until we get a more complete application.
Okay, very good. So we'll wait for the application and
Isabel, this is Ian. Have you looked at the state, what was it called? The water diversion program? There's some regulations that the state, that DEEP has for water removal. from, I believe it's a state water body, but it may at least pertain to Mono Pond.
Mhm.
If
I
you,
haven't looked at them. I will say I also, when I spoke to Matt, he did tell me that the state has been out a number of times to review his equipment. And they haven't given him any trouble. He did give me a number from an individual at the state that he worked with previously, but he doesn't have written permission at this time. And I haven't been able to get in touch with that individual yet. I have left them a voicemail and I'll keep trying. So I'm working on trying to confirm that there has been a history of review of his equipment as well, but
yeah, I mean, just quickly looking at it, it looks like you're allowed to pull water from a state permit if in not excess of 50,000 gallons a day.
okay.
So I'd be floored if he's pulling more than 50,000 gallons a day out, but
No, certainly not.
it may be it may not necessarily need to come in front of the board, I guess is what I'm saying, depending upon where he's pulling from water.
I think my understanding is that's why the state hasn't required a permit up to this point. Reading the regulations, removal of any kind of material, including liquid, including water from any wetland does require a permit. So I think that the pumping within the town requires a permit for that reason. But it isn't something that the state seems to be concerned with in regards to the removal of water from Mono Pond.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? If not, I guess we'll wait for a little bit more information at the next meeting. And maybe we could have him put together an application or something. Or at least work with Isabel and try to find out what's legal and what's not legal.
Yeah, I have a comment or a question. I'm sorry, I was out of the room for a second, but this is withdrawing water anywhere in Columbia where or certain areas in Columbia to help his hydro seeding operation. That sounds like a diversion, a stream diversion to me. And then depending on the amount of water diverted, that could be come under state regulation. But that's one of the things we have to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely, I agree.
Isabel will be working with the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we should probably, depending on what we hear next week, might have to have another site walk or something. Take a look at those areas. Okay. Let's see. New business. Okay, we're all done with new business. So any open discussions by the commission? Anybody want to say anything? Nope.
I'm good.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right, administrative approval.
I think you skipped
into that
approval of the
now.
minutes.
What's that?
I think you skipped approval of the minutes from last month and the sidewalk.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Item 8.
On approval of the meeting minutes of May 2nd, 2022. Do I have a motion to accept them?
I move that we accept the minutes.
Okay, second on that?
I'll second them.
Okay, John, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved, thank you. And the site walk minutes of May 26, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Somebody else?
You're doing good, John. Keep it up. Second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ian. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, so moved. So that's done. Okay, I already asked about open discussion. So now we'll get into item 10, the administrative approvals, item 10.1. Resubmittal of the application on Valley Street Investment, Greg Claude.
I'm sorry,
and,
John, I think we inadvertently skipped our second audience of citizens. I just want to confirm
Oh, okay.
it's item 8. Do we have any audience of citizens that would like to speak at this time? Okay.
Okay, nobody wants it. Okay, so this is the resubmittal of the application of Valley Street Investments, Greg Claude and Norman Thibodeau Jr. For a wedding event facility at 79 Cards Mill Road, map 20, lot 16, per section 52.7.5. You want to get into that a little bit, Isabel? What's going on there? Another resubmit of the old one or what?
Yes, so this was a resubmittal of the old application that was previously discussed. At the time that we discussed it, the plan was to have a tent on a concrete pad. The applicant resubmitted with a plan for a barn structure instead of a tent. They added restrooms. At the feedback from planning and zoning, I believe they added a paved turnaround and a third handicap parking spot. The restrooms also have a pump line for the septic system so that the septic is just outside of the upland review area away from the wetlands. I believe it is 100 feet from the wetlands as they've been delineated on the site. And the reserve area, I believe, may be 95 feet from the wetlands as they were delineated on the site. The pump chamber itself, or the pump line itself, does go through the upland review area. But I think most of the impact from that is from trenching and filling the pump line. The footprint of the building is the same size as the footprint of the concrete pad that was approved. So the new footprint in that area is the additional restrooms. All of the building space is being infiltrated by an inch. The 3 handicap parking spaces that have been approved are being infiltrated by an inch. The flow path for both is greater than 100 feet. They're both greater than 100 feet from the 10-mile river, which is the area of special concern. Let me see. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. There is a paved turnaround as well that is partially in the upland review area. And I believe that's everything that's been approved. I'm looking for the formal language now. And having some trouble finding it. It was the construction of a 60 by 60 event facility, which is the same size as the concrete pad. The restroom is 17 by 23 feet, 3 paved parking spaces, and the turnaround portions of the on-site septic, so it's the pump chamber as well as the line, is in the upland review area. And then just associated landscaping for the purpose of sediment and erosion control. To date, we do have an appeal. I mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting. I received it tonight at, I believe, 6:03. So it's going to have to be revisited at the next meeting. And we have a lot of feedback, I'm sure, from citizens. This has been something that's been ongoing primarily through planning and zoning. And we'll discuss it more, I think, during that appeal process.
I have a question for you, Isabel. With all these changes, do you still think it's an administrative approval type?
I do, and that's why I issued an administrative approval.
Yes, but there's nothing new that will affect that, is there? As far as you know?
No, so everything on this approval is something that I think will have no greater than a minimal impact. I think a majority of the impact is going to come from putting the building in place, for example, and I think that that will be well controlled with silt fence and best management practices. Like I said, any runoff from the roof is being infiltrated by an inch, which I think is actually a huge improvement to the site, which was previously all grass. And I know that this has been something that's been a concern for a number of residents. And so I'd just like to say it's not something I would have approved if I felt that it did have any potential for impact, significant negative impact on the river. I believe that this meets the state guidelines of minimal impact.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess, let's see, what, oh, you got a couple other things going here.
Tip, do you have a question?
Oh,
Joe.
any-
Yes, I do have a quick question.
okay,
Is that right? I understand that you've approved the revised plan administratively as not affecting the wetlands.
Yes, I issued
Okay.
administrative.
Okay,
On
thank
the-
you.
yep. So we really don't have to get involved, but we will listen to what the audience of citizens have to say at our next meeting. By the way, is the next meeting, isn't that on, oh, I see, the 4th is
is a holiday, so it's
a
gonna
holiday. Okay, that's why you said the 7th, right?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So our next meeting will be on the 7th rather than on a Monday, which is a holiday. Good, okay. Okay, you've got two other items on the agenda here. Item 10.2, the application of Chris Gutnick, builder for construction of a wall at 420 Route 66, the Christie subdivision, Lot 2, map number 036, lot 006A.
Yes, this, I did an administrative approval. This is a lot in the Christie subdivision, as you said. I think a lot of commission members saw it on a site walk earlier this year. Just to refresh your memory, this is one of the lots that has a swale in the upper portion of it. This lot in particular, the swale does go into the upland review area. It's designed to capture runoff from lot 3 as well. And so that swale is the only thing that will actually be within that upland review area. The house, the septic, the driveway are all outside.
Okay. And the last item was a notice of a violation at 21 Lake Road. You want to fill us in on that?
Yes, that one we discussed with the application of Cindy Muska. At the time when I wrote the agenda, I hadn't received an application from her, but since we added her to new business, I think that covered everything unless people have, some commission members have questions.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any? Okay. Anybody have anything they want to say, or if not, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
Second,
all in favor? Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you. Have a good
yeah,
weekend.
take care, guys. Have a good
Okay.
You
one.
too. Thank you,
Okay.
John.
gals.
Thank you, Isabel.
Good night now. I
Have a
guess the
good
next meeting is gonna be a humdinger.
It'll be-
Look forward to it.